Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining today's executive webinar session, Acu-Quality webinar series, how to perform root cause analysis digitally with Qdms, eBA workflow, and Acumatica ERP systems together. My name is Kevin Devecioğlu, and I'm the Managing Director of Bimser International. I have my colleagues today with me. So today together as a panel, we'll be addressing how to manage root cause analysis. Let me introduce our panel to you. I have Alex Kvaterov with us. He is from Emrah Consulting Company. He is the president of the company, and he'll be talking about fundamentals of root cause analysis in the scope of ISO 9001 compliance. Also, we have my colleague Sam Watt with us. He is our pre-sales software engineer from our engineering team, and he'll be demonstrating Qdms and Acumatica together to show you how to perform root cause analysis digitally in this digital age. And we have our product manager Furkan Bas with us. He'll be also with us doing Q&A session. In recent weeks, we made some changes in our webinar lineup. So as a change, we start with our demonstration first as to how you can manage your root cause analysis digitally. And then we'll talk about fundamentals of root cause analysis. We'll talk more about benefits of managing root cause analysis digitally and our company, as well as Qdms and eBA on a high level. And we also have a Q&A session for us to be able to address your questions with regards to root cause analysis. My colleague Sam will be talking about how you can manage root cause analysis in a digital environment. He'll be talking about corrective action and preventive action management in Qdms. Also, he'll be talking about digital tools that are actually available in our product line as to how to perform root cause analysis, such as 5Y, Ishikawa, or Fishbone, as we know in the marketplace. 8D approach. We'll be showing these, and we'll also demonstrating these so that you can see how you can actually manage and perform these analysis in a digital environment. Sam will also talk about reports available based on these analysis, as well as dashboard, executive dashboards available, so that you can also see what type of KPIs can be managed in a dashboard environment, in a digital and visual environment. Just so you know, these root cause analysis, 5Y, Ishikawa, and 8D approach, our reference is ASQ, American Society for Quality, when we have been working on these analysis in a digital environment. So if you have more questions about, fundamental questions about 5Y, Ishikawa, and 8D, we refer it to American Society of Quality's website, which is actually very educational. Also, Alex is with us from Emrah Consulting. Alex is a certified ISO 9001 auditor. So if you have any questions during this session, you can ask him as well during Q&A session at the end of our webinar. So before further ado, I'd like to invite Sam to our virtual stage so that he can take over the screen and perform this demonstration for you as to Qdms and Acumatica working together to manage root cause analysis in a digital environment. Sam, you're ready to take over the screen?
And yes, I am. I'm ready. So
great.
Let me take
and
over
also, we also have to say this week is National Manufacturing Week. So we are also dedicating this webinar to this important special day, I must say, as to Manufacturing Day. As we all know, corrective action and continuous improvement is very important for manufacturing and manufacturing companies. So we believe this webinar will be also very informative and educational for manufacturing companies as well. Sam, please continue. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining today's webinar. This is Sam at Bimser International. So I'm the pre-sales software engineer based in New York. So this is the homepage of Acumatica ERP system. So for Qdms, we have the integration, and we are certified software by Acumatica ERP, so that we can run Qdms, our quality, risk, audit, and compliance management system, on the same page of Acumatica ERP. So right here, you can see Qdms running on the same page with Acumatica, and on your left, you can manage the workspace of Acumatica, and on your right, you can connect to Qdms and start managing the corrective action and also the root cause analysis. And this is the homepage of Qdms. You can find all the pending tasks for approval right after you log in. For example, the corrective action that is waiting for your approval, so that you can come to this widget and get a quick connection to this request. And Qdms is a permission-based system, which means not everyone can see everything. You will see what you are supposed to do based on the permissions that are granted to your account. Users will have different permissions based on their role, their position, profession, department, or group. And as now, I'm logging in as the admin, so that I have the full control of the system. Typical example will be the main menu. So the users will only see the modules they are supposed to see in this main menu. And to the admin, I can also find my admin menu as well for connecting to the system infrastructure definitions. And between Acumatica and Qdms, we have the fundamental integration, for example, the employee information, the customer information, vendors, and also the stock items that we retrieve from Acumatica and push to Qdms. And today, we will cover the corrective action module and also the root cause analysis tools that help you to handle the non-conformity. And to the company in manufacturing industry, so I believe you will see a lot of, for example, incidents, or customer complaints or feedback to your company or to your products, so that how we can manage all of them by using Qdms. And we can use the corrective action module, as known as CAPA module, in order to have the continuous improvement in our organization. By using this module, we can record different non-conformity. As you can see now, we have different records, and they're in different status depending the progress that we're handling this non-conformity in Qdms. For example, they are in the status as open, result, follow-up, or plan. And right here, we can create a new corrective action record by using Qdms, and you can enter the non-conformity and also the CAPA source, how we get this non-conformity. For example, by risk assessment, an accident, or by audit or employee observation, for example. All these items that you can see in this list are configurable, which means you can always edit or delete the items in this drop-down list by using the system infrastructure definitions, which is the admin menu. So now we are going to pick and choose one, and we can select the department and also the locations. So this app department list is coming from Acumatica, so that these are all the department that we have, and we can pick and choose from the list. Also, Qdms support multi-location, so we can pick and choose the location in this page and enter the non-conformity and non-conformity description. After that, we can assign this to a solution team, and this team has to file the first progress report and have the root cause analyzed and determine the root cause. After that, we have to carry out certain actions if needed, and I will show this to you one by one. So right here, we are going to assign this to the solution team, and we can pick and choose the users on this page. For example, I'm going to pick my account. After that, we can attach any documents if needed from our local drive. So for example, I'm going to attach a screenshot or an image and upload to the system. And now this document is available and connect with this particular record. So as for the non-conformity, I'm going to enter this as in this mandatory fields. After that, we can save this, and this corrective action will be saved and created. The responsible person will receive a notification and ask the responsible person to file the first progress report. As I am the responsible person, that's how we defined in the solution team page, so that I can see there is a request that is waiting for me to fill in the first progress report, so that we can get a quick connection from our homepage and start filing our first progress report. For example, I just copy and paste here and then save it. So this is the flow how we do in Qdms. After filing the first progress report, then we have to define the root cause. For example, right here, we have like a lack of training procedure. After that, we can save this root cause, and then we have to define the corrective action in order to cope with this root cause. So we can add a new record here and pick and choose if it is a corrective action or preventive action. Preventive action is like we have the risk there. So we want to prevent some unplanned incident or unplanned issue that happen in the company, so that we can pick the preventive action. And now we have the problem comes up, and we can choose corrective action, and then we can choose the action performer, like who should perform the action that we are defined here, or that we defined here, like put together the training procedure, for example. And then we can set up the deadline for the action performer, like by the end of this week. And then we can pick and choose the root cause that we are dealing with. After that, we can save this, and the action performer will receive the notification in Qdms and also in his or her email inbox. As I'm the action performer, so that again I can come back to my home screen and find the notification right on my home screen. So here we can see the corrective action that we have to perform, and we can get a quick connection from our home page. So saying I have an update training procedure, and I have to update the status of this action for this corrective action record. And also we can ask for extension of the deadline for this task. So let's think about we performed it. So something we have update. So we can we can put what we have done in this open text box, like updated the training procedure. And if there's any attachment, we can upload it from our local drive, like the updated training procedure. So I'm going to add an Excel and then this and save this. So the record will be updated and sent into the approval flow in Qdms. As I am also the approver, so that I can either approve it from my homepage. And to the workflow, we can always configure it based upon the actual operation of your company. And this is our demo environment. In order to smoothen our demonstration, that's why I make myself as the approver. So right here, we have our non-conformity, which is waiting for my approval, so that I can come to the home page and also go into the module and see what I have to approve. So right here, we have our non-conformity, and I can either approve or reject it accordingly. So this is how we can manage our corrective action in this corrective action module. And as you can see now, we have different status in this for our records, like the one it is now waiting for after the action is performed, the status is now updated as result, which is the final step. Also, we can open a report-like page and show all the information of this particular record. Think about like the auditor of the ISO is come to your office and ask you to show him or her like how do you manage the non-conformity and corrective action in your company, so that we can pull up this report and show this to the auditor. First of all, the auditor will be impressed like you can prepare this information in a second. In addition, it's helped you to save your time and cost for finding and also saving all the records for managing one non-conformity. And by using Qdms, technically, you do not have any limitation in terms of the number of records that you can manage in the system, which means starting from the beginning that you start using Qdms, and for let's say till 2050, you can still record all the records in terms of non-conformity and corrective action. So this is how we can manage Qdms in regarding corrective action and also non-conformity. And what next is I want to show you the Qdms extension as well. So by using the extension, it's helped you to do the root cause analysis. As you can, if you notice, in Qdms, we can record the root cause in the corrective action module. And using this Qdms extension, it's helped you to do the analyze. For example, having the 5Y analyze, Ishikawa analyze, and Ishikawa 2, and also 8D model. So this, let me show you one of the example here for the root cause analyze tool. We can have the 5Y, and we can create a new 5Y analyze. And in the beginning of the page, you will see the first why that you can enter why we have this problem. For example, like out of spec product. And then first why we have this, because for example, like human error for example, and then we can go to the next step. And the system will ask you why there's human error. This is the second why. And for every tool, in terms of analyzing the root cause, there is a unique workflow behind it. Like the system will ask you the second why, third why, fourth, and fifth. And the fifth why will be the non-conformity for this, will be the reason or the root cause of this non-conformity. And let me show you one of the existing record by using this 5 why analyze tool. So for example, right here, we have our out of spec product. And you can always retrieve all the records here. And you can see the system asks you enter the first why, and then the answer for the second why, and then the third why, fourth, and fifth. After that, the answer for the fifth why will be the root cause for this non-conformity, which is the resources never allocate for training. So that we know we have to do something in order to make sure we have adequate resources for the training. And right here, you can also see some more example as the root cause analyze tool, like the 8D model. And then we pull up one of how we can enter a new 8D analyze. So we can pick and choose, first of all, like the customer and the serial number. And then there will be 8 steps that you can define your problem, assigning to the team, and also identify the problem, symptom, and also find out the root cause. So we have in total 8 steps in this 8D model. And in terms of showing you the whole report, how we do that, we can file this up one by one with all the 8 steps by using this model. Also, we have the Fishbone Diagram, as known as Ishikawa diagram. So by using this one, you can enter in this fishbone and find out the root cause of this problem. Again, for this, by using this fishbone analyze tool, we can find out all the record and put into the workflow and create a corrective action in Qdms accordingly. So that it helps you to find out the root causes for this non-conformity or problem in our company and carry out the associated corrective action in order to deal with this non-conformity. As for using the tool, again, we can always pull up all the records that we have in this Qdms extension and find out all the record in this Qdms extension. At last, I want to show you is the reporting tool and also dashboard in Qdms. In Qdms, there is a reporting tool which allows you to create different ready-made report. For example, the corrective action report. So we can have the report like the summary report, and before generating it, we can put some condition to this report, like setting up the time frame. Let's say I want to see starting from like last year, September 29th, 2019. And then we can generate our report and all the corrective action records will be shown in a list. And you can see the corrective action number, the responsible team, department, and also the requester and the date. and you're more than welcome to export the report into Excel or PDF for sharing with any responsible parties. Furthermore, you can create a graphical report in Qdms, and also you can put the condition. For example, we want to see which department handled the most corrective action within this time frame, and create our report. And you will see all your data will be shown in a bar chart and also in a table. You can export this report as Excel, PDF, or image for sharing with others. At last, you can have the dashboard in the module of Qdms. So by using this dashboard, it shows you all your real-time data in different widgets in the form of a scorecard, bar chart, a table, list, or pie chart. It's helped you to keep tracking the performance of your company and also for different departments or locations. Also, you can monitoring KPI of your company as well. So by reviewing this dashboard, it's helped you to have your analyze and also planning for your future action of your organization. It's come to the end of my demonstration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam, for the demonstration. Let me take over the screen and we can continue. Okay, great. Sam, thank you for the insights and thank you for the demonstration. As you saw and as Sam performed, there are different ways to, of course, perform root cause analysis. At some companies that we do implementation, for example, sometimes they have approval flow for each root cause analysis that they perform. So those approval options are also available because of the powerful workflow engine that we have underneath Qdms called eBA workflow. So with that, you can basically have all your approvals, reviews, and other corporate hierarchy-related activities performed digitally in this digital age with no need of paper. Great. So what we like to do is right now, we like to continue our webinar session with Alex Kvartirov. Alex will be talking about fundamentals of root cause analysis from the scope of ISO 9001 compliance. Alex is the president of EMRA's consulting company, and he is also a certified ISO 9001 auditor. Alex, are you ready?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin. And again, thank you, everybody, for joining today's webinar. What I'm going to cover today is how is ISO 9000 looking at root cause analysis? What are the requirements and really what's driving you to have, as part of your quality management system, a root cause analysis process? So before I start, just a very brief introduction about EMRA's consulting. Personally, I'm a certified ISO 9001-2015 lead auditor, and I'm the sole proprietor of EMRA's consulting. I've started my business in 2015, so it's about already 5 years ago, after a lengthy career as a project manager in a large aerospace company that was certified to the AS9100 quality standard. AS9100 is the aerospace standard. So what I currently do under EMRA's consulting is I provide consulting services for businesses to both achieve ISO certification and to maintain it, because you have to do certain things regularly to maintain your ISO certification. And about 2 years ago, I became a Bimser Solutions partner because I was very impressed with what Bimser, and in particular the Qdms tool, and how it can really help and assist in managing all of the data that's required to be maintained with ISO. So I think it's a really good match here between my knowledge of ISO and now the application of this great tool to support the ISO environment. And I'm also doing a number of webinars and lectures on various ISO topics. So before I get into the root cause analysis, I just want to give you a very, very brief overview of what ISO is. And basically, ISO requires an organization to have and maintain a quality management system. And this diagram here really shows pictorially what a quality management system is. And it's based on the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle, which was developed by Deming, who was a quality guru. So I think it's very easy here to see what is going on in a quality management system. So on the right side of the screen, you see the ISO clauses, all right? And they're numbered 4 through 10. The first 3 clauses are really, they don't have any requirements. They're basically definition, introduction material, but the real requirements start with 4, okay? They go from 4 through 10. Now on the diagram, you see in parentheses have the numbers, and those numbers refer to the particular ISO clause. So let's quickly go over the diagram, and let's starting on the left where you have the inputs. And obviously the inputs consist of obviously customer requirements, okay? What does the customer want you to either develop a product or a service, okay? Now, in addition to the customer requirements, then you have also what is called the organization, its context. What does the organization consist of as far as the needs and the really what the organization has to produce this product or service. And also there are interested parties. So you have to satisfy the needs of the interested parties, which could be the investors, the regulators, and obviously the customers. So they're all interested in making sure that you're successful. So all of that information goes into the planning cycle, which is clause 6. And out of the planning cycle, then you start actually your operation. So either your design and development of your product or service. Okay, now once you have completed that and you have actually developing your product, then you look at clause 9, which is performance evaluation. This is what I'm going to focus on today, is clause 9, because this is where you evaluate the product that you have or service that you have developed. And also, as you can see, there's feedback from the customer. So hopefully the feedback most of the time will be positive, but obviously this never happens, and you'll have some negative feedback, which means that either the quality or the product that you've delivered to the customer doesn't fully meet the requirements. So now you have to address that. So performance evaluation really looks both at dealing with the internal product that was developed before it was delivered to the customer, as well as possible complaints from the customer. So once you've performed the evaluation, now you have to look at, well, how do I fix the problem? How do I get rid of the problem? And that's part of the improvement requirement clause, which is number 10. And then obviously once you've dealt with the improvement, you know how to fix the problem, then you go back to replan, and then the whole cycle begins over again. So you're really staying continuously in this cycle. Now notice in the middle of the diagram is leadership, because the management is should be totally in control of the quality management system, and it has to know exactly what's going on all the time. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. And now I'm going to focus on, in particular, clause 9, okay, which was performance evaluation. And this is where the root cause analysis is actually done, okay? Now, in particular, subparagraph 9.1, it's titled Monitoring, Measurement, Analysis, and Evaluation. So what, let me focus specifically on analysis. So now I'm going to ask the question is, what are the specific ISO requirements in regards to doing an analysis of a non-conformance? Okay, so you have a problem with either a service or a product that doesn't meet the requirements. How do you deal with it? What does ISO specifically requires you to do? So what it does require is that the analysis that that's defined as part of your quality management system, it must be a process, okay? And even though it's very interesting, but ISO does not specifically mention about a root cause analysis or any methods of doing your analysis. And it's really up to the organization to define what is the best root cause analysis for your product or service that you're doing. So again, ISO is not imposing anything on you. The only thing that ISO requires is for you to have a process of dealing with non-conformances and to make sure that you follow it and you have all the records to show that what you are doing. So really, the analysis, whatever analysis you've developed for your or tailored for your organization, is really aimed at identifying the root cause of a problem. And again, as I mentioned before, hopefully most of your problems will be dealing with products that have not been delivered yet. So now you have a chance to resolve the problem before actually it gets in the hands of a customer. On the other hand, if products were delivered to the customer, and now you have either the customer identified a non-conformance, or as part of your continuous verification process, you've identified that some of the delivered products may have a problem, you have to make a decision whether or not to recall some of the products because it may affect the safety issue. So that's again a decision. You have to have a process to make those decisions. What do you do about a problem that's out in the field and whether or not it has to be recalled? So this is where now you have to start evaluating, and I think again Sam covered that extensively, and how you some of the various tools that are available to do that. But again, the goal is of the analysis and the investigation is to prevent the non-conformance from reoccurring. So obviously you have to know what causes the problem and then fix the cause of the problem so it doesn't happen again. And the QMS has a standard operating procedures that define the responsibilities and authorities for the investigation process. So again, it's a process that has to be well defined by the organization of how to deal with non-conformances. And the investigation of a problem should really be focused on the system itself and not on any particular individuals. Now, it could be that part of the problem is that the individuals were not properly trained to perform a certain function. So that could be a source of the problem. So it could be that the solution would be to provide some sort of training to prevent those problems from reoccurring. So again, the diagram at the bottom of the slide, again, sort of summarizes the part the interface between clause 9, which is performance evaluation, and clause 10, which is the improvement. So basically, you analyze the corrective actions, which I've already discussed. Then you verify that the changes that you need to make to solve the problem really solve the problem, and then obviously you carry out the planned changes, as I mentioned before, in the planning cycle, and then your whole cycle continues to correct the problems that were identified. Okay, and the final slide, and again, there are tools to perform root cause analysis. I think Sam covered all of them, or certainly the first two, the Fishbone Diagram or the Ishikawa. So that's a common tool that's used. 5Y, again, it's used extensively in getting the root cause of the problem. And I think what's great about the Qdms, that its extension provides you the capability to actually record all that information into the system. So, typically, and I've been there myself, when you do those, perform the root cause analysis, you write it down on pieces of paper, and that gets lost somewhere. So sometimes you don't have, you can't go back to exactly what was done in the root cause analysis. However, Qdms, it gives you the capability to have all that information available, saved in the database of the system, which is a tremendous advantage to actually support this whole root cause analysis. I've also added the Pareto chart. That's used certainly when you have a number of problems that dealing with, let's say, a system, and there you have to really categorize the problem and the occurrence of the problem. So now you can't really address all of the issues at once, so you really deal with the causes of the problems that are most frequent. So that's, again, another tool that is typically used. But again, just as a summary, ISO does not require the use of any of those tools, or your organization may develop its own tool to do a root cause analysis, which is perfectly acceptable. But again, the important point is that your organization must define a process to do root cause analysis. So that completes my presentation. And again, thank you very much for given the opportunity to present it. And I'm just now turning this over to Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Much appreciated. Thank you for your insights, as always. So we always try to mix technology and fundamentals of quality management. So we work very close with Alex, and we always appreciate his insights. Just like Alex mentioned, it's interestingly, some of the projects that we actually implemented, some companies, they came up with their own root cause analysis tools, actually. Because of the confidentiality, we are not able to share these, but we happen to see some of these companies, and we develop these tools for them in a digital environment. They used to do it on a spreadsheet or on paper. Now they actually run it digitally as well. In addition to what Sam actually talked about earlier as to 5Y, 8D diagrams, and fishbone analysis, right, Ishikawa, we have other tools as well for quality management, such as turtle diagram, for example, to study processes. And we have other tools also available. Due to time constraint today, we are not able to demonstrate all of them, but what we do is we keep our contact information on the screen, and if you like to have one-on-one meeting, we'll be happy to schedule it with you and we can talk further. Now we'd like to talk about our solutions a little bit from the benefits and features point of view, and then we'll also address your questions during Q&A session. I received some questions already, so we'll address them during Q&A session. and we'll talk about some other details as well. So as for our company, we are Bimser International, and we are based in New York. We are an enterprise software maker since 1998, just to introduce our company to you. In a sense, we help companies simplify their business processes, and we help companies adopt digital transformation. We are very active in various business communities. We are also very close to ASQ, American Society for Quality. That's how we keep learning, how we keep engaging with quality professionals and quality managers in business, basically. So we really take it seriously. We are also very close to manufacturing community. This week is National Manufacturing Week, which we are very excited about. So we like to focus more on manufacturing this week and during this executive webinar session as well. In addition, we have an internship program for university students called University of Bimser International. We teach university students how to do pre-sales as well as software engineering. As Bimser, we are a group of companies. We have global presence, as you see on the map. We are based in New York. We are also active in Europe, in Middle East, and other regions as well. I'll talk more about other regions that we are active. So as a group, we are about 200 people. We are a growing organization. We are backed by European Bank. So that is an important information to share. And we are also very close to very different technology companies, such as Microsoft, SAP, MYOB, and as well as Acumatica. Today, Sam demonstrated QDMS with integrating with Acumatica ERP. In a sense, our products actually designed to run standalone. So there is no other system for us to run our systems. However, we always integrate with other ERP systems to make it available for different companies to pull and push data. We are very familiar with ISO 9001. It is because we are also ISO 9001 certified company. We are also certified for ISO 27001. So we have also policies, procedures, and just like Alex mentioned, we have a QMS in place to make sure we always deliver the highest quality of products and projects at every single opportunity that we get with our customers. So in addition to our North American operations, we are also active globally in South America, Africa, Asia as well, in addition to Europe and Middle East. So we are very actively offering our systems to help companies automate their business processes to have a paperless work environment. Since 1998, we have been very focused. We focus on these products only. So today we've been talking about QDMS, and that's going to be our focus. In addition, we have eBA as a workflow engine that we have that helps companies automate and digitize their business processes. We have BEAM, that's an asset maintenance, facility, and energy management software. We have Ensemble as an intelligent business process modeling and performance management software. And finally, we have a cloud-native product called Synergy that is also coming into market very soon. We are very excited for it. So this is our basic product range that we have been developing since 1998. Also, you can see some of the projects that we have been delivering as for how many projects we have been delivering since 1998. For QDMS, for example, we have deployed more than 1,000 projects already. So that also shows more or less how many customers we have. And right now for QDMS, we have more than 1 million professional users. So these numbers are increasing every month. These are the numbers by the end of last year. So we have higher numbers right now. Our products are actually very technologically modern. They are web-based, so they work on cloud. They also work on premise servers. Also, we have a product called Synergy, as I mentioned, that's native cloud. And we have also a mobile application as well. So our systems run standalone, and we integrate them to ERP systems, CRM systems, and other applications available. Some of our references, it is because we've been in the market since 1998, and we have a lot of reputable organizations using our products. They put their confidence in our products and in our company, which we are really proud of. I just list some of them. We work with 3M, Ford, Burger King, Bridgestone, and many other reputable organizations. So as for QDMS, our quality management system, our approach is digital transformation. We basically have companies adopt digital transformation for quality management, and that is how we are actually looking at it. So what is digital transformation in one simple sentence? Basically, it is adapting your organization's structure as well as culture and strategy and structure to capture opportunities enabled by technology. That's the easiest and straightforward definition that we found and we like. So by adopting digital transformation, there are benefits of it, of course. By adopting digital transformation, you can be more competitive, you can be more productive, you can increase customer satisfaction, you can reduce your reliance to, for example, on paper or spreadsheets and other unstructured data. You can organize your operations, and you can have a paperless working environment to be more productive, more efficient, and more competitive in this marketplace. So as for QDMS, we have been working with, of course, many different industries we've been exposed to. By no means, we are not experts in quality management. We always work with Alex and other experts in quality management. However, we have seen a lot, we have learned a lot, and we are still learning from different companies. So that's why we have a chance to work with these within the vertical in many different companies we had a chance to work with. So when we look at these standards, there are, of course, different requirements, and some of them are actually very similar as for documentation, for example, performance management, continuous improvement. These are really important requirements regardless of what industry you are. And also these standards, they have certain objectives, you know, having the work environment to be safe, making safe products, having continuous improvement culture in place. So these are important requirements. And when we talk to companies, as I said, we have been doing it since 1998. We have more than 1,000 customers. We have been seeing difficulties in companies, their challenges. Some of them, for example, we hear from the companies as to when they are complying with different quality management systems, or even if they have their own QMS system, regardless of they are certified or not. What they say is basically they need to manage documentation. So that's a challenge, because everything needs to be documented, every single action, every single corrective action, analysis. That's an important information. But even though that's an important task, that's a challenge for companies. Also, if you don't have a central repository, it's hard to make decisions. Hard to make decisions based on the evidence, because evidence may be on paper, maybe on spreadsheet, maybe somewhere in the company, but who knows? It's difficult to put things together. So that is also a difficulty and challenge for companies, and it also affects the corrective actions, of course. If you don't have the data, if you don't have the evidence, basically, how are you going to take corrective actions based on evidence? It's tough. So that is why we put together this framework. It is the framework for quality management in the scope of digital transformation, and it has three parts: assurance, control, and predict. Assurance is the system we are complying with, the regulation, maybe ISO 9001, maybe AS 9100, maybe IATF 16949, for example, in automotive industry, or food and beverage industry, maybe ISO 22000 or SKF or BRC. This is the assurance that we are referring to. And every single system that you may be complying with, they always have a control piece as part of it. So you need to have controls, maybe doing manufacturing, maybe doing your administrative operations, purchasing, sales, marketing, for example. And predictive refers to smart sensors. So nowadays it is getting more and more common is to have smart sensors to remotely monitor temperature, vibration, and other important information that you need to know about your company without being there physically. So we believe when you actually implement this framework in your organization, you can adopt digital transformation for quality management. That is how and why we created QDMS. QDMS is our own product. We own the IP, we own the technology. Since 1998, we have been developing it as a proprietary software product of ours. So when we look at QDMS, you can comply with many different quality management systems at the same time, by the way. Some companies comply with more than one standard, that's okay. So that can be managed on QDMS. QDMS is web-based, especially nowadays in the face of COVID-19. Many of us work remotely. So because of web-based technology, you can work from home, you can work from office, or you may be traveling. You can access QDMS and your data no matter where you are. And we train quality management teams for QDMS. So once we train you properly, you can run the system by yourself. It's very user-friendly, very straightforward. Of course, we have 24/7 support. What I'm saying is very easy to use and master basically. And the way that we design QDMS is to help quality management teams to take control. Because if you are using QDMS, you have a chance to know what other departments are doing, if they are reading the documents, if they are reading the procedures, if they are taking corrective actions or requesting corrective actions, for example. Because everything is digital, everything is linked to each other, and you are in charge as quality managers. And if you're on paper, if you're on spreadsheets, for example, you cannot know if they are really, other departments are really following the standards and policies and procedures of your company. You wouldn't even know if they are really reading the procedures, because you wouldn't have a know to you wouldn't have a way to know what they are doing. With QDMS, you can know who is doing what they are reading, if they are following the procedures and other standards, which is very important for quality management teams. Since QDMS has a very modern technology, it is ready to integrate with other technologies and other systems. It's already linked to various ERP systems, including Acumatica. QDMS is ready to integrate with CRM systems, manufacturing execution systems, IoT devices, and other systems that you may have at your organization. And one of the advantages of QDMS is it's modular. We have more than 30 modules of QDMS available, and you can pick and choose any module you like. Depends on the standard you are complying with, and depends on the challenges that you are having and priorities of your organization. So today we talk about corrective action module, and we also talk about the root cause analysis as part of our webinar today. Because of the time constraint, we are not able to show all these modules in one session, but if you're interested, please just send us an email and we can schedule a one-on-one meeting with you. We'll be happy to go over it based on your expectations and your quality management standards. In addition to standard desktop version of QDMS, we also have a native mobile application for Android as well as iOS devices, iPhones, as well as tablets. So anything that you are doing on your laptop as well as your desktop computer, you can also do it. You can also perform it via your native mobile application on your mobile device, your cell phone. And as I mentioned, we have been working with many different industries: food and beverage, manufacturing, aerospace, chemical, automotive, construction, oil and gas, energy, and many other industries that we have been working with, and they are using QDMS seamlessly. Okay, great. I think we covered a lot of subjects today. So today we talk about the fundamentals of root cause analysis, which is important for many companies. So Alex covered that. That was very informative. Also, my colleague Sam performed a demonstration about how you can actually run root cause analysis digitally with no need of paper by using digital tools. So it was also detailed, and he showed you how you can demonstrate it, how you can manage it with no need of paper. And also we, of course, talk about the importance of having the root cause analysis linked to your main quality management system to have the documents and records available for any audit and records anytime that you like to visit. Now we like to address some questions. I've been receiving some of the questions, so I can read some of them and then we can address. So one of the questions is about the native mobile application. I just actually mentioned it. So we have native mobile application for mobile devices. So we have it available for your Android devices as well as iOS devices. So based on our experience, quality management teams love mobile application, especially when they are performing audits, on-site audits. So you don't have to pull up your laptop. You can just use your smart device to take your notes, take pictures, and you can document your audit right there. That may be an internal audit. That may be an audit to your supplier, for example, if you're in aerospace industry, automotive, or any other industry, or any other manufacturing field. These audits are very important internally as well as auditing suppliers. So one of the questions is about the modular structure. Do we have to get all the modules that we need, or we can just take a couple modules as a start? Well, actually, the system is modular, so you can choose any module that you like. That is really up to you. We have no minimum module requirement. Sometimes we talk to a company, for example, their main concern is documentation, versioning, sharing updates with team members, making sure they read, they understand, they accept what it is talking about. So they start with document management module, and then a while later they add sometimes other modules. So that is really up to you. We have no minimum module requirement. Our goal is to basically help your company automate and digitize your business processes as much as you can, based on your budget, based on your company's priorities. So we are here to help in any way possible. Another question is about the root cause analysis. Alex, I think this question is for you. So is there any other tool other than the one that you showed? I believe you talk about the Ishikawa, Pareto, and also you talk about 5Y. Is there any other common tools being used in quality community, you will say, for root cause analysis?
Well, there are other tools available. I think I mentioned the three that are the most commonly used. And again, I think the important thing in today's environment is for the organization to develop its own tool that is specific to control and manage their products or service. So I think what kind of tools are available, I think it's great, but I think it's important for the organization to decide what is more important to manage its process. And again, like I mentioned, ISO does not require to use any tools as long as you have a process of identifying and resolving your non-conformance. So I think that's really the key here.
Great, thank you, Alex. Much appreciated. Sam, we have another question. I believe that's for you. QDMS works on cloud, is native cloud. It works on-premise servers as well.
Yes, correct. QDMS works on both. So which means QDMS can be deployed on your cloud server and also your on-premise server as well.
Thank you, Sam. Much appreciated. I have a question about pricing. So for pricing, please just send us an email, and I'll be happy to address pricing related information based on your business requirements. Absolutely, that'll be my pleasure. We have one more question. So what are the integration points with QDMS and Acumatica ERP system? Maybe I can address that, Sam, if you don't mind me. So, well, we have the foundational integration with Acumatica. So we are pulling all the master data, anything that you have in your ERP system as to employees, products, and vendor information. We are pulling it into QDMS automatically, so you don't have to type twice. There is no double enter needed. And if there is further integration needed, we also can do it. In some projects that we have been doing, sometimes they ask integrations for inventory, for example, to manage non-conformity operations. Sometimes they like us to integrate with the financials of the ERP system, because corrective action also has a cost. So trainings has a cost, for example. So if you record these costs and if you like to link it to your ERP system coming from your quality management system, we also have those integration options as well. So I think that addressed the question so far. Okay, looks like we addressed all the questions. I think we are all set. Alex, anything else that you'd like to share before we end our webinar session?
No, again, thank you very much, Kevin, for inviting me. And I think that subject of root cause analysis, I think it's very, very important for an organization to have an effective process that really uncovers all your problems and solves them, because I think that's what really makes the customer happy, to make sure that all the issues are addressed. And even if a defective product was delivered, the fact that you're keeping track of those and you may initiate a recall, I think that's a very important aspect of dealing with non-conformances.
Thank you very much, Alex. Much appreciated. Before we end our session, I'd like to also invite you to our YouTube channel. We have a very active YouTube channel for you to watch our previous webinar sessions and product introductions, short videos. Some of them are very educational, some of them are very informative. So we are confident that you'll enjoy our YouTube channel. Please visit our YouTube channel and subscribe. As you may also know, we have an Eventbrite page, and you can see our coming webinar sessions in the scope of quality management, asset management, digitization, digital transformation, automation subjects. Great. So I wish you a happy Nation and Manufacturing Week again. Thank you so much for joining us for today's executive webinar session. We are looking forward to seeing you in our coming webinar sessions. Thank you and have a nice day.